Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Celtic Forever podcast. We're going to go through the rumours again. We're going to go through the news. We're going to go through the Scotland games as well, because obviously Scotland are in the Euros. No very convincing performance last night against Germany, but we'll get into that, John. We've got John here to go through everything with us. How's things today, John?
I'm good, Zander. How's yourself?
I'm okay, John. I didn't manage to watch the Scotland game yesterday. I just heard the result this morning, so... but you can talk us through that a wee bit later, John, because I never watched it. I think you did watch it.
I watched it till Germany got a penalty, and then I switched it off. That was it. I had enough. 2-0. I'm thinking that there's no chance, absolutely no chance. And then they get a penalty, and I was like, off. Still game.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know they got penalties, John. Anyway, so let's get the housekeeping out the road just now. Hit share, like, subscribe as well. If you can hit that subscribe button, because the YouTube channel needs as many subscriptions as possible. We're not getting many just now. So hit that subscribe button, and the competition as well. We'll get that out the road just now. There was over 47 entries in the competition this week. That was the rerun from last week, if you remember. So unlucky to everybody that entered and got it wrong, right, John? Because the correct answer was Charlie Missonder, John. That was the mystery voice, if you remember. So Charlie Missonder was the mystery voice. Two people got it right. Andrew M. and You Just Calm Down. Was there a one that got it right? So that was two. I done the draw earlier, John. And the first one out the hat was Just You Calm Down, John. So congratulations to him or her. He or she wins the pen and the lighter. So congratulations to you. Well done. New commenter there on the YouTube. So congratulations to you. We'll need your address off you, pal. If you want to send me a private message on the Facebook Zander John page, or you can leave your address in the comments on YouTube. It's up to you. But congratulations anyway. Also, if you can join us over the Facebook page as well, because all of our extra content is over on Facebook. Zander John Facebook page. You'll get us over there for some extra videos and content. So just you calm down, John. The winner for the Mystery Voice, Charlie Missonder.
Right. I had no idea who it was, but well done. Calm down. It was just you calm down, was it? Aye, just
Yeah.
good. Well done, mate. Well done in winning your wee prize. Good prizes, by the way. You won't get that in any other podcast. Anybody listening, you don't get free prizes like that. And you can ask anybody in the comments. It's won prizes. They arrive pretty quick, and they're good quality prizes. So well done for winning it. I'm sure you'll get that this week coming.
Yeah, congratulations, well said, John, as well. I'd unlucky to everybody that did enter last week and this week, because it was a rollover. If you remember right, it had to go over the 2 weeks, because nobody got it right last week. So the wee clue helped. A couple of people got it right. Unlucky to everybody that got it wrong, and especially unlucky to Andrew M, who got it right but wasn't drawn out the hat. So unlucky to you, pal. All right, John, let's get into some Celtic news, rumours, gossip, etc., etc., etc. The transfer window opened on Friday. So the transfer window's open, John. And obviously, Celtic like to do their business late on in the window, John.
Aye. There's a slow burner for Celtic, always is. Rangers do the panic buy, Celtic do the slow burner.
That's right, John. Celtic look for quality. Rangers do the panic buy, as you say. So all we can do as regards to Celtic anyway is hit out with some of the rumours and gossip, John. So let's get into it, right? Adam Ida, it's not going away, this one. Norwich obviously want £8 million for Big Adam, and Celtic are putting a bid for £5 million that I'm hearing, John. So Celtic are trying to lower the price, but I think Norwich are sticking to their guns. They're wanting the £8 million.
Celtic won't pay that, Zander. I guarantee they won't pay that. There will be a compromise, I think. Maybe 6.8 million or something like that, maybe. But I don't think Celtic will pay them the full asking price. I just can't see it at all. I hope I'm wrong right enough, because he's quite a quality player, isn't he?
Top class, John. Top class. We need him. We need him signed. I think Celtic should push the boat out. Worst case scenario, and pay the £8 million. You know, you look at players like Edward. I mean, he cost £9 million. I think he does a better player than Edward. I really do. Let us know in the comments what you think personally. But John, Celtic are not going to pay the £8 million. Let's be honest. I think you're right. Maybe 6 million, 7 at a push. But we can't let this one slip through the net, can we?
No, I think Celtic will all get that over the line, that one. I think Adam either would love to play for Celtic. He's a Celtic fan. I was thinking about Adam either the other day there when an Only Fools and Horses thing came out of my mind. Uncle Albert was singing a wee song in the bar about somebody called Ida, am I right?
That's right. He did. That's right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'll have to go back my memory there, but he does. Uncle Albert sings about Ida. That's right. So hopefully we'll be singing about Ida come the start of the season, John.
I was just thinking about the wee song for the Celtic fans. My lovely Ida.
Aye, by lovely Ida, right enough, John. Yeah, it's £8 million, no, John. As you say, Celtic are never going to pay that. They're going to want the bargain basement price. 5 million they put a bid in, apparently, John. Already that's been refused, so obviously it's just going to be like a tug of war, if you like, to get Big Adam Ida over the line. So hopefully Uncle Albert's song is a good omen there, John. All right, moving on. Oh, John, your favourite striker. Genk have placed a 4.2 million bid for John. That's, if we get that kind of money for that would be amazing, considering we only paid 2.5 million for him.
Who's put a bid in for him?
Genk.
Oh, Genk.
Yeah.
Right. It's an appropriate player for them, and an absolute Genk player, man. He's right rotten. But I don't know. I'd love to see Celtic double their money on him. Aye, that would be quality. I would like to see that. I don't know. I feel bad talking about the boy like that, but you know my feelings on him. I'm not going to go through it all again. He's just no Celtic quality. He's not a striker for a start. The one good thing about Big O is he spoke perfect English.
Yeah, he did, John. He done okay, I think, at the start. He done okay last season, right? He was okay last season, coming on off the bench and scoring some vital goals last season. And then he done okay at the start of this season, as I said in that podcast last week, bagging a couple against Aberdeen, etc. But he just got further and further down the pecking line at Celtic, didn't he? Especially when Big Adam Ida came in as well, John. So if we get £4.2 million for I think that's an amazing bit of business, John.
It certainly is. I thought he was going to be a throwaway player for sure, Zander. You know, one of these free transfers or something like that. Just get rid of him, get him out the door. But if Genk think he's worth 4.2 million, I don't know. Maybe they should watch his performances through the season. They might change their mind.
Yeah, they must see something in him, John, that they like. So, you don't go splashing that kind of cash. Well, and saying that, Celtic have done it plenty over the years, haven't they? We are a Meadow Baldies, etc. But 4.2 million would be a decent price anyway, John, I think. So let's move on with the rest of the rumours. Obviously, we can only talk about rumours, John, because Celtic haven't officially signed anybody yet. Obviously, we've got players like Adam Montgomery and Mikey Johnston back from their loan spells. We've got them back in the door, but there's nothing concrete over the line yet as regards to Celtic signings. Kieran Tierney, John. Arsenal have slapped, I like using that one, slapped a £10 million price tag on Kieran Tierney. That's another one Celtic are not going to pay into it.
That's no, I don't know. I says the last time I didn't really want him back at Celtic. Then I changed my mind, but I'm kind of changed my mind again because Kieran Tierney, very injury prone, Zander, very, very injury prone, and I don't think the £10 million valuation is. I don't think it's a fair valuation of the player, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't think Celtic are going anywhere near Kieran Tierney at 10 million. I could be totally wrong. Celtic are cash rich just now, but that goes for nothing, doesn't it, when it comes to Celtic signing players, especially from the English Premier League. Celtic would be looking to maybe pay 5 or 6 million for him, but I don't think they'll go to 10. But it's one we should keep our eye on over the summer, John. Obviously, the transfer window doesn't close until the 30th of August, so there's plenty of time to get these deals over the line.
There certainly is. Look, £10 million for he's a quality left back, Kieran Tierney, right? Nobody can deny that. He is quality. And Arsenal are right to ask for that kind of money from because they paid a hell of a lot more than that. There's 25 million they paid for Kieran.
There was, John, yeah, 25.
I mean, that is a whole lot of cash. And for Arsenal to sell him at £10 million is it's a lot of money they're losing there. But that's nothing to them. But for a team in Scotland to pay £10 million for a player, that's a massive thing, that, Zander. It's a lot of money for a Scottish club. Scottish clubs are not in the same league as teams like Arsenal. The free money that they get down there. I mean, every team down there is on about 120 million off the TV every single season. We can't compete with that, you know. So, £10 million, it's a bargain for some team that can afford to lose it, you know, if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, that's right, John. It is a bargain, 10 million for as you say, teams that can afford to splash £10 million on players. I think Celtic's biggest ever transfer was 9 million. Edward, wasn't it? So they'd need to break the record to sign him. But we'll watch it, John. We'll watch it closely. It's no going away, isn't it? It's always tricky with Celtic, isn't it? Either 8 million Tierney, 10 million. You know, it's never easy. Celtic try to get these players over the line. Next one on the list here, John, Scott McKenna, heavily linked with Celtic, John, Nottingham Forest centre back. Big Scott McKenna. He'd be a decent backup centre half, I think.
Nah, I don't want him at Celtic, Zander. He's a big cat horse. Don't know, he's quite a solid enough defender, but how many times did they get exposed by Celtic when he was playing for Aberdeen, you know? I wouldn't have him at Celtic, Zander. No, for me, that's a big...
Aye, well, I don't know what the fee would be for McKenna, John, but he is heavily linked, and I think he'd be a decent backup player if Scales or Carter Vickers gets injured, John. Can't be any worse than that, Phillips, I suppose. But yeah, we'll watch this space for that one as well. I've not got any sort of fee here, John. I don't know if it'd be a free player or if there'll be a fee involved for Scott McKenna. Let us know in the comments if you know, because I'm not really too sure. Plus, I know for John, maybe for me, I would say as regards to Scott McKenna, goalkeeper, John, this is obviously another issue, isn't it, that isn't going away. We've not filled the gap yet with Joe Hart leaving the club just after he wins the double. So the three names that have sort of stood out, John, goalkeeper Vinyal, goalkeeper Keller from Liverpool, and goalkeeper Dubravka from Newcastle, John. I think Dubravka is the one that's attracting all the attention. 6'3" goalkeeper from Newcastle. No fee involved yet. I think he's sort of a second, third pick down at Newcastle, John, but by all accounts, he's a decent goalkeeper. There are one Keller, John. I think we're being priced out the water with that £115 million Liverpool want for Keller.
The Celtic's never going to pay £15 million for any player. So I think we can wave bye-bye to that one. But Newcastle keeper, I don't know anything about him. Never seen him. Don't watch the English game at all. So, don't know anything about him, Zander. Can't comment on it. But I'll check him out later on. See what he's all about.
Yeah, big Fraser Foster one. That's went away, John. So Vindal, Keller and Dubravka are the three strong links linked to Celtic. Obviously, John, every one of these players is just rumour, you know, but I don't know where these strong links come from, but that's the three that's linked to Celtic. Keller, I thought was a decent goalkeeper, John, but I think we're priced well out with that £115 million for a second choice goalkeeper from Liverpool.
Well, I'm aware of Keller, of course. He's a world known goalkeeper, Keller, isn't he? I'm quite aware of him. But Celtic's never going to pay £15 million. But any of these goalkeepers that's wondering, should I join Celtic? Is it going to be the right move? Well, I'm sure Joe Hart knows them all. So they can go into the phone to him. They'll find out what Celtic's all about. It's a great move for any goalkeeper, Zander, unless you're that Barkas guy.
Yeah, no, you're right, John. All they need to just pick up the phone and they'll know exactly what kind of club they're signing for, John. So well said, yeah, good point there. Okay, moving on, because they're just rumours. We can't really say anything more about it. But this one isn't a rumour, John. Frimpong, you mentioned it on the last podcast. Frimpong potentially selling for 38 million. There's also other clubs interested in him now, John. Liverpool interested, Arsenal interested, Man U, who was originally interested in him, and Barcelona. John, so Celtic could be making up to £10 million if Frimpong goes to one of these clubs.
We discussed this weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. I mean, what did you think of Frimpong when he was at Celtic, Zander? Did you think he was a good player?
I thought he was decent. He was a more attacking one. He wasn't really. He was better attacking than he was a fullback, if I'm going to be honest with you, John. But he was a decent wee player. But the fact that Barcelona, Arsenal, and Liverpool are now in the running, John, gives Celtic a better chance of getting this £10 million.
Oh my days!
Oh my days, yeah. If he's a decent player, what did you think of him, John?
I don't know. It's hard to say because it was COVID time when he played for Celtic, wasn't it? It was hot and cold, really.
Mm-hmm.
He always gave his all. He was full of heart, the wee guy. A lot of pace, direct. I thought he was half decent, but look, if there's a bidding war going on for Frimpong, now we spoke about this weeks ago. I say Celtic were in. Sorry, they would earn up to £12 million for the sale if they sold for 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
The chances are they could sell for more than 40 million under if there's a bidding frenzy going on, because that will pay for Adam either, like we says before. That would pay for Adam either and another player.
Yeah, it would pay for Adam either, John, if we get him for £6 million and put £6 million towards the Kieran Tierney offer. So yeah, it could do wonders for Celtic if Celtic get £10-12 million for the sale of Frimpong, I think. Especially with teams like Barcelona, John, Liverpool, all these massive clubs, cash-rich clubs coming in for this boy. Leverkusen, obviously, they're going to make a massive profit as well for the sale of Frimpong. But, that 10-12 million makes a massive difference to Celtic, John.
Of course it does, aye. And like I says, it could bring in two players. But knowing Celtic, they would just probably spend that money and then they bring 5 players in for 10-12 million. I think that's just the way Celtic operates, under. They're going to try and find bargain basement players when they're sitting there cash rich. But they're no stupid. They're not going to spend all that money they've got, Celtic. They're going to, they like to keep the books good and all that, Celtic. They're one of the teams, they don't want to find themselves in a situation that Rangers found themselves in, liquidation, administration, still the same club.
Still the same club, John, yeah. All right, John, that's it for rumours, unless you've got any more to add.
No, really, no. I've not been checking the Celtic news, to be honest with you, Zander. See, when we're not doing the podcast regular, I kind of forget about it, and then you just hit me with it. Right, we're doing a podcast, right?
Yeah, John, it's very quiet in the Western Front now at Celtic, John, because I'm going to go through, right now, all the other 10 clubs, 11 clubs in the SPL and what they've been doing, right? But Celtic it's always the same, isn't it, John? Every single year we wait for the last 3 days of the transfer window and then we start doing our business then.
Aye, it's always the same, aye. Like you say, Rangers do the panic buy, and Celtic take their time and see if they can find any wee gems cheap that they can sell for millions and millions of pounds. It's always been the same. The only one player I've seen Rangers linked with, well, I take it you already know, so I'll let you do the talking.
No, John, well, what you can do is, because maybe I've not got to, what I'll do is I'm going to go through the teams, right? We'll start with Rangers because they are our immediate opponents, John, right? So they've signed 3 players already, and I've never heard any of them, so I'm not going to mention them. But they've released 7. John, Rangers have released 7 players. Silva is away back for the club of Kenfate. They've released Kemar Roof. They've released Barisic. They've released Jack. They've released Lundstrom. McLaughlin, he's away, and Diamond or Diamondi, I don't know how you pronounce that guy's name. He's away as well, John. So that's 7 of the first team players they've actually released. It's only 2 days into the transfer window, John.
Aye. They're getting their work done fast, aren't they? They weren't kidding when they says they were going to have a clear out, were they? But the one player that I seen they were linked with, strongly linked with, was the wee boy at Aberdeen, the wee guy with the big bags under his eyes.
Yeah, John, I'm going to hit with Aberdeen, John. You're right. I didn't know he was linked to it. In fact, yeah, I did know. Yeah, is that the boy? Gives a wee second. I've got it wrote down here, John. Is it Barron? Connor Barron?
Aye, Connor Barron. Decent wee
Yeah,
player, by the way. I like him.
yeah, John. Aberdeen released him, so they'll be getting him on a free.
A free. Well, I think there's a possibility he could end up at Celtic. Do you think there's a place for him at Celtic?
He's a decent wee player, John. Is he Celtic class? You know, maybe he's Rangers class. Don't think he's quite Celtic class, if I'm going to be honest with you. But you know, you need more than just a first 11, don't you? You need strong reserve players as well, or substitutes, John. So, no, if he's strongly linked to Rangers, then good luck to him. That's all I can say.
Well, don't wish him any luck if he's gone to them. I hope he has a rotten season, to be honest with you.
No, what I mean by that, John, is he's going to do nothing then if he's going to Rangers. So good luck to him. So let's hit on these teams in the SPL, John. What they've got right. So Aberdeen, we'll start. We started with Rangers. Second up was Aberdeen. He's left Aberdeen, John. He's been released. Connor Barron, as I says, he's gone as well. So couple of half decent players there, John, that Aberdeen have released. Johnny Hayes, good servant for Aberdeen.
Aye, it was a good servant for Celtic as well. I love wee Johnny Hayes. I thought he was a crack wee player, but I think by the time we got him, he was a bit past it. Wee Johnny, nice wee guy, wee gentleman, good Celtic man. And is he not at Celtic now? Is he not coaching under 18s or something?
Yeah, I think he's just been signed as a coach for the, I don't know if it's under 17s, 16s, John. I'm not sure, but he's back at Celtic on a coaching role anyway. But I thought he was a great player for Aberdeen, John, and Celtic. So I think he's maybe still had another year left in him, possibly. But he's decided to go down the coaching route. So good luck to him as well, John.
I think wee Johnny's about 38 years old, Zander. So aye, it's under 18s. He's coaching at Celtic, Zander, under 18s. So that's a good wee foot in the door and his managerial career. And good luck to wee Johnny. Good guy to have at Celtic. I like him.
Yeah, it's good to have him back at Celtic, and to John, he's back in the door, as you say. So, so that's two out. Two decent players for Aberdeen, but obviously the transfer window only opened yesterday, John. Dundee, Owen Beck, he went back to Liverpool, John. We're strongly linked with him as well, aren't we? So that's the end of his second loan at Dundee. He's back to Liverpool, John. Do you think there's a wee chance we'll go in for Owen Beck, even maybe if it's a year's loan, possibly?
Yeah, I don't know. There's every possibility, isn't there? If it's a loan, especially if it's a loan. But I like that boy. I think he's a good player. Aye, I would welcome him to Celtic. A very half decent player.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And Dundee United, John. Let's have a wee look at Dundee United. 16 players have released, John. 16. So it's a bit of a clear out with Dundee United. So we don't know what kind of team they're going to bring into the SPL, John. But 16 players released, that's a lot, is it not?
16, aye, that's a team and a half, isn't it? I don't mean
Yes.
it's a great team. It's a team and a half and a half
Yeah.
a team. Aye, well, got just all I can say about Dundee United is welcome back, welcome home.
Yeah, welcome back to the Premier League. A team that always gives both sides of the Glasgow Derby a decent game. So yeah, 16 players released. I couldn't believe that when I saw that, just 16. That's a lot of players, isn't it? So good luck to them as well when they come back up. Okay, Hearts, John. They've released Halliday, McGovern, and Haring. So we'll move on. Three first team players released. Hibs have released 11, John, the new manager at Hibs. He's released 11 players, John, including Hanlon, Stevenson, Marshall, Tate, Fish. The list goes on. Seems to be a bit of clear out of Hibs as well, by the looks of things.
Aye, I'm surprised with Hibs. Well, they nearly got into the top six, didn't they? Very nearly got into the top six.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got some half decent players there. They always give us a good game, Hibs. Always give us a good game. I suppose every team raises a game against Celtic, didn't they? Celtic are the boys to beat, really.
Yeah.
Very successful side, of course. But aye, Hibs 11 players out. That's a whole team, isn't it, out the door?
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing what Hibs do next season, who they bring in.
Yeah, I think the looks of things, because I've got a few more to mention here, John. Looks as though there's a few clear outs, and these teams are maybe going to start next season quite strong with all their new players, etc. We'll watch this space. Next one on the list is Ross County, John. They've released 9 of the players, so Ross County have released 9. Did Ross County stay up? I think they did, didn't they? They're still in the SPL.
Aye, they avoided relegation. I can't mind who they beat in the playoffs. Who was it again? Race Rovers, aye. They're staying up. They're still with us, Zander.
Right, okay, John. They've released 9, so they're looking to strengthen as well. St Johnstone have released 11, John. It's another clear out there at St Johnstone, including players like Crawford, Considine, Kane. Kane seems to have been there forever, didn't he? St Johnstone have released 11 players, John. So another clear out at another club there. St Mirren, St Mirren, they've released 8 players, John, including Kwon, who's been sent back to Celtic. So we don't know what's going to happen with Kwon at Celtic, but he might be sent out on loan again, I would imagine. So St Mirren, 8 players released, John. St Johnstone, 11. Ross County, 9. Motherwell, 11. Hibs, 11. Rangers, when was that? They had released 8 or something, 7. Aberdeen, yeah, they're all having massive clear-outs, John, by the looks of things.
Aye. Everybody's clearing out players except Celtic. Can't get rid of any of the players itself. I just want to see all of that deadwood at Celtic off. Kwon coming back, of course, the noodle boy would be good for maybe get a wee job in the kitchen making the noodles for full time, Get a old piece of noodles gone.
I prefer a roll noodles anyway. A bump roll noodles. I love a bump roll. Quad noodles. Aye, but no.
I like a dry roll.
he's got to go back out on loan, John, or try and get the money for him. We only paid $1 million for Kwon, but hopefully if we can get that money back, obviously. All right, John, that wraps up the SPL teams and what they've done so far in the transfer window. A lot of movement there, John. Isn't there? An awful lot of movement with all the teams in the SPL, as you say, apart from Celtic. All we've got at Celtic is rumour, gossip. There's no concrete news as of yet. Right, John. Scotland. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Scotland against Germany, John. I didn't watch it, as I said at the start there. I didn't watch the game. I'm glad I didn't watch it. I found out the score this morning. 5-1, was it? 5-1. An own goal. Scotland scored at the very end of the game, apparently. But you watched some of the game, John. Tell us all about it, buddy.
I can't really tell you much. There's nothing to tell, but well, I suppose I can tell you what I know. So obviously Scotland looked a rabbit in the headlights, basically. I think they were more stunned by the occasions, and it's an opening game of the Euro 2024, isn't it? It's a home game for Germany. The stadium's full of Germany fans, a lot of Scotland fans there as well. Just rabbit in the headlights, Zander. They couldn't string 2 passes together. They could not string 2 passes together. And I watched a similar game the other night, Ireland against Portugal, with the 40-year-old Ronaldo and Beppe and all of that. Ireland couldn't get past them. They were a rabbit caught in the headlights as well, even though it was just a friendly. But we're talking about Scotland. Let's talk about some of the players playing for Scotland that I think shouldn't be anywhere near the Scotland team. Ryan Porteous gets sent off, of course, for the penalty. Kind of followed through with the tackle. Thought the red card was a bit harsh, to be honest. But the penalty was given. Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson, strong left-hand side that we've got there. Germany kept hitting the right-hand side constantly. Kept hitting the right-hand side. Our strongest side, Germany were hitting it. Who else have we got in there? John McGinn, non-existent. Super John McGinn.
John, just to interrupt there, John, about John McGinn, right? I watched 20 minutes to that friendly the other night. John McGinn. He looks about a stone overweight.
A stone?
A stone. He looks about a stone overweight to me.
I think it's that big head he's got, Zander.
Nah, just looked overweight to me, John, and he wasn't. He didn't have the pace of the game either, and that was just a friendly as well. So I don't know how he performed against Germany, but he looked overweight to me, John.
He's always looked overweight, to be honest. He's always looked kind of chunky player, you know. I just think that's his build. Just think that's the way he is. But no, against Germany, poor. John McGinn was poor. Cal McGregor was poor. Who else did we have in the centre of the park? Can't even remember. What's his name? The guy McTominay. Poor. Couldn't get out their own half. Just
Yeah.
couldn't string two passes together. Just kept passing the ball straight to Germany players and all that. Big long blooters up the park. Nobody on the end of it. Up front, the boy Adams never get any service at all. Just long balls that the German defence were just mopping up. Just take control the whole game. Suppose against men, Zander. It was pathetic. It was just horrible to watch. Talking about the Celtic players, Cal McGregor, quite poor. Never really done anything. Just another one, just rabbit caught in the headlights. What's his name? Anthony Ralston. He did okay when he had to defend. He defended, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
Other Celtic players, ex-Celtic player Ryan Christie, ridiculous. Just hope that guy never comes anywhere near Celtic. Just overall, just a really poor performance. You know, it was boys against men. I suppose that sums it up really. In Germany, I'm surprised didn't win by more than the result they got 5-1, because it was 5-1 going on about 25-1 Zander. That's how bad Scotland were.
Yeah, it's no great news, is it, for Scotland? Talk about McGregor, John. Every player in Scotland, by all accounts, played bad, but this Roy Keane blaming McGregor. I mean, how can you blame one player when the whole team plays bad? But Keane was blaming McGregor's decision making in the middle of the park, John. Double winning McGregor, John. Champs, SPL champions McGregor getting the blame from Roy Keane. What did you think of that?
Well, I didn't know that, of course, but he wasn't any worse than any of the other players under. That's all saying that. So Roy Keane's just an idiot if he's saying that, because every single player on the park was terrible. And being honest with you, the only one, for what I saw in the first half, the only one that got past marks and done his job and kind of handled it pretty well was Anthony Ralston. That's my opinion. But Roy Keane saying that, he's totally wrong. I think every player on the park had a bad game.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, John, as I say, I didn't see it, so I can't really comment on the game. I can only comment on the result, and that's all I can do. All right, John, so next up for Scotland is Switzerland, isn't it? So Switzerland on Wednesday, 8 o'clock kickoff, John. That's now turned into a must-not-lose game.
Well, I only seen about 5 minutes of the Switzerland against Hungary game the day. They won 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Switzerland won 3-1 against Hungary. Hungary squandered a lot of chances because I was at half time. I was kind of watching full time. I was watching the analysis of the game. It was showing you all the chances that both teams had. Hungary had a lot of chances. Switzerland were more clinical, of course, but it's a must-win game for Scotland. I'm sure they can't be any worse. That's the worst I've ever seen Scotland in my life, to be honest with you. And I've seen some bad Scotland performances, but against Germany, I don't know if it was the occasion that got to them or whatever, Zander. I don't know. I've just never seen Scotland playing as bad as that. And that Germany team, they ain't half the team they used to be, and they just. I was just laughing in Scotland's face, really. It was just, I can say it again, men against boys. But Switzerland, I at least hope it's a bit closer, eh?
Yeah, John, I think we'll see a different Scotland on Wednesday night, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think you'll see a decent performance and hopefully a decent result as well against Switzerland. And their game after that, their final game's the 23rd, Sunday the 23rd. That's against Hungary, of course, as you say, is the day. It was Hungary 1, Switzerland 3. The other game of the day was Spain 3, Croatia 0. Tomorrow we've got Poland against Holland. We've got Slovenia against Denmark. And Serbia opened their campaign with a game against England, John. So that's sort of an easy game, no easy, but a decent game for England there, John, to open the competition for them.
Aye. That's always the case with England. They always get these really, really easy teams. Serbia, I don't know how good Serbia are. They might be a good team actually. I don't know because I know nothing about them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just sounding. The name doesn't sound very threatening, does it?
No.
For a football team, I mean.
No. That's a gimme for me, anyway. Anyway, yeah, I could be wrong, obviously, but for me, that's the 3 points for England in the bag right away before the ball's even kicked, to be honest with you. But then they play Denmark on Thursday, John. No Matt O'Reilly in the Denmark team to play England, so Denmark will maybe pose a bigger threat for England, possibly.
Denmark are a half decent team. There's a lot of good quality players in Denmark, Zander. And they've got a good fan base as well. They follow them everywhere. Nice and colourful. Same as Switzerland today. Aye. I know Denmark will give them a half decent game, Zander. That will not be a walk in the park for them. Trust me with that. That's Denmark are never a pushover.
All right, John. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. So good luck to Scotland on Wednesday night anyway, because we're going to need that. It's a very, very poor start, John. That goal differences are way up as well. -5 in goals already. So good luck to Scotland, as I say, on Wednesday night against Switzerland. No worse than a draw, I think it would do, and then we could take it into the other game. Who's the other game we're playing? Hungary. And we also need Germany now today as a favour, John. Don't we need Germany to beat both Switzerland and Hungary when they play them?
Aye. I think Germany will. Look, Germany they're the home nation, of course. They're going to want to win other games for their fans in Germany. So I don't think Germany will be taking it easy at all, unless it comes their third game and they know they're qualified. They might rest a few players, but even the players they do put on, if they rest their main players and put a kind of B team out, they'll still give 100%. Xander, it's Germany we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hope you're right, John. Hope you're right. All right, good luck to Scotland on Wednesday night anyway. It'll be an interesting game, let's put it that way. And a sort of a must-not-lose game, if you like. All right, John, that wraps up our Euro lookouts. We'll go into the comments now if you've got any for us, John. We didn't do the comments in the last podcast, so what have you got comments for us tonight, John?
Just give me a wee second to bring them up, Xander, but just before, I'm just looking for the comments while I'm talking here. I think Scotland don't really have a chance of qualifying out of that group, to be honest with you, Xander. I think Switzerland will beat them. I hope I'm wrong, of course. I hope Scotland, even just a wee 1-0 win would do. I'll take that all day, just a wee 1-0. But I don't know.
I think a win against Switzerland, John, gives us a great chance of qualifying, if I'm going to be honest. Gives us an excellent chance of qualifying. You know, going into a game against Hungary, potentially only needing a draw would be possible, let's put it that way.
Aye, of course it would be. I just can't see it though. I can't see Scotland beating Switzerland. But you don't know that Scotland's team last year was really good. They beat a lot of good teams to get to this competition, remember. So, you know, they should be out there showing their worth, really, because they've got a lot of decent quality players, Premiership players and that there. They should be going out there and putting on a show for the Scotland fans. Don't be scared of the occasion. Just get stuck into them. Play like they did when they qualified, and they should be okay. But I don't know. Has the occasion got to them? I don't know. What do you think, Zander? I just don't know.
Well, as I say, John, I just heard the result, but you know, I thought Celtic, I thought Scotland were going to put in a better show against Germany. If I'm going to be honest with you, I know they're the hosts and they're the big crowd behind them there against Scotland, but I just thought Scotland were going to put in a better showing. But as you said, from what I've heard, John, I've never saw the game, but from what I've heard, I think you hit the nail on the head. It was like the rabbits caught in the headlights, wasn't it, for 80% of the Scotland players?
Aye, that's what it was. Look, that Roy Keane's just an idiot for saying that if he's blaming Callum McGregor, because To be honest with you, if you're going to mark every player in that game, you're going to give them 1 out of 10 every single one. They'll give Anthony Ralston a 2 for what I've seen. But he's wrong saying that. He's totally wrong saying that about Callum McGregor, because every player was anonymous. Even Super John McGinn, you know what I mean? That's what they call him. It's Super John McGinn, the Scotland fans. You know that Super. He's all right against the smaller teams, but when it comes to the big teams like that, rabbit in the headlights. Anyway, Zander.
Yeah.
Let's go with the comments. One club sensation. This is from the Double Winners podcast we did last week.
Right.
One club was up first. He says, "What a pod that was, lads. What a listen. Thank you. McStay on screen. Well done for not missing him."
Oh, well remembered, John. But they both picked a team from the 88 double and the 2004 double, didn't we? And I forgot to bring up Paul McStay. It was Matt O'Reilly or Paul McStay, John. Who were you picking?
There's only one to pick there, and that's the maestro, Paul McStay.
Yeah, and that's what I put up on the screen, John. Both of us picked Paul McStay. Just forgot to mention it, but he was in the team. So well remembered, one club since 1888. And we didn't forget him. It's just me. I forgot to mention him, but his name was up on the screen. So that was good fun, that, John, winning that podcast, bringing up the 1988 double winners, McAvenny, etc. We picked McAvenny over Kyogo and some other good picks in there as well, Roy Aiken, etc. It was quite funny. But Paul McStay, John, we'd never miss him, it would be.
Never. The maestro, Celtic legend, and Big Roy Aiken, the autograph dodger. Anyway.
Aye, Big Roy, feed the bear. All right, John, what else you got?
Right. One club says, again, another comment for one club, he says, "No, Edward for me doesn't want Edward at Celtic. He thinks he left for the money and down tools." Well, I totally agree with that, actually. He did leave for the money. And if you want to put that picture up with the guy out the good, the bad and ugly, have you got that picture I sent you?
I've still got it, John. Aye, still got
I'll put a picture of the two of them up, because that's exactly what Edward reminded me when he signed for Crystal Palace, of all clubs. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace, who are they? And you couldn't, that smile he had in his face made me sick when I seen that, by the way.
Yeah, John, and he had that smile on his face, and he done absolutely nothing when he went down to Crystal Palace. And I'm the same as one club since 1888. I'd rather see Big Adam Eder there. If I want to splash some cash, get the money splashed on Big Adam Eder. No, Edward. He's already had his chance at Celtic, John, so get Big Eder in on a permanent deal. That's what I would say.
Exactly, aye. And that wasn't a smile Edward had in his face when he joined Crystal Palace. That was, you could have kicked a rugby ball into that move.
Aye, it was pretty funny. I don't know what that was all about. Someone must have told him the funniest joke in the world or something. I don't know, but all right, John, moving on. Nee Edward for me, nee Edward for you, nee Edward for one club since 1888. We're all in agreement with that.
Right. It's no somebody told him a joke. I think he's seen his wage packet.
I think I'd have a smile on my face that size as well if I had his wage packet, Johnny.
That wasn't a smile. It looked like a lion ready to pounce on a gazelle.
Yeah, I know. He's it must have. I mean, you think about it, if you're going to treble your money, you'd maybe have that reaction yourself. I mean, quadruple your money even. That was a big move for him at the time, wasn't it? All the extra wages. How much was Edward on a week at Celtic, John? Must you think 15,000? He's probably up to about 60,000.
Nah, it'd been on about 20 grand a week. I don't really care, but aye, that's anyway. That's the reason for the big laughing face on Edward. He's seen his wage packet, his bank balance, and he says, "That's my first wage." Yes.
Yeah. And maybe he would get away with not putting in any effort down at Crystal Palace, because he never got away with it at Celtic. He was sold that year, wasn't he? The COVID season, he never put in any effort, John, and he was sold off immediately.
I didn't like him anyway, Zander. He was good these first couple of seasons, but the COVID season he was ranked rotten. But anyway, moving on for Edward, let's get away from him and his big move to that massive club, Crystal Palace. Deef was up next. He says, "I enjoyed that. The mystery player guess is Ball and Goalie. Remember him, Ball and Goalie?"
Bolingoli, yeah, he was the one that got crucified, John, didn't he? Because he went to Spain, for a couple of days, and the Scottish press ran him out the country. Yeah, Bolingoli never kicked another ball after that, did he? Oh, I think he made one appearance eventually for Celtic, and then we got rid of him. Aye, but I thought Bolingoli wasn't the best left back in the world, John, but he wasn't the worst either.
Can't remember much about him, Zander. He's not made an impression on me, so but I do remember him being at Celtic, of course, but I can't remember him, the way he played or anything like that. Kind of vaguely got wee images of him playing, but I can't remember if it was good or bad or whatever. Anyway, thanks for that. And next up was Rosemary. Thanks for the upload, lads. Great listen. Lots of homework there, eh? I'll say Sorrow, the mystery player.
Sorrow. There's a lot of guesses in that mystery player, John. There's a lot of good guesses as well. People done their homework, finding out players that came from England or whatever. But yeah, Sorrow was a good guess. Bolingoli was a good guess. And there was a lot of homework put into that last podcast because we went through an awful lot, didn't we, John? We went through the full season, if you remember, game by game.
Aye, we kind of just kind of brushed the early games. Kind of didn't spend too much time on them, but fitted it into that time that we did that podcast. That was a good podcast, and Sorrow being the mystery player. The only Sorrow we've got to see in Scotland is the Sorrow that comes from Ibrox, innit? That kind of Sorrow.
There's plenty of Sorrow over there, let me tell you, John. But Sorrow I thought was decent as well, John, to be perfectly honest with you. I remember he came in for about 5 or 6 games and done really well. But he ain't no Callum McGregor, is he?
No, he's definitely no Callum McGregor. But good luck to Sorrow wherever he is now, and should bring back that feature. Where are they now? But where is Sorrow? Where is he? Who knows? Anyway,
He plays in Israel now, John. I can't remember what team it is, but he got his move away for Celtic, and he got a permanent club in Israel. So he's over there just now playing his football, John.
all right. Well, good luck to Sorrow and his time in Israel. Anyway. Thanks for that, Rosemary. Next up was Roseanne, another Rose. A couple of the two Roses are good regulars on here, aren't they? They're always leaving the comments.
Yeah, we need the girls for the comments. Yep, keep them coming in, girls, if you don't mind.
Aye. Anyway, Roseanne says, that was a great wee podcast tonight, guys. Very funny. I don't think John will ever forgive Big Roy for not signing his Celtic view. Never mind, John. All the Celtic Forever pod fans love you. Well, you do, Roseanne. That's good to hear. But Big Roy Aitken, we just talked about him a minute ago, didn't he? The autograph dodger. That's honestly, see that test? Never forgot that my whole life. 12-year-old Zander. I live in a 12-year-old waiting on your hero coming out. Tommy Burns comes out, signs the book. Frank McGarvey, I think, no, that stuff. Murdo McLeod. Can't remember the players, but what I remember is Roy Aitken. No.
Yes, it wasn't very nice. As I said the last podcast, Celtic players don't do that. They're always over giving autographs, etc., etc. But John, here's a wee one for you, right? Which Celtic players from the past or ever, if you like, have you actually spoken to, John? Have you spoken to many Celtic players?
No, I don't think so. I was at school with a Hibs player. I used to hang about with him in school. Davy Farrell played for Hibs in the 90s.
Right.
I was at school with him, Davy. I didn't think he was that good a football player, by the way, but I was at school with him. What Celtic players have I spoke to? Tommy Burns.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody spoke to Tommy. Everybody knew Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be other Celtic players I spoke to.
I'll run through mine while you're thinking then, right, John? I spoke to Tommy Burns a good few times in St Mary's Church when I was a kid, when I was going to Mass. Tommy Burns in St Mary's. Spoke to Joe Miller in Thompson Street. I think his mother lived in Thompson Street, Joe Miller, so I spoke to him down at Thompson Street in the east end of Glasgow. I spoke to Roy Aitken, of course. We just said hello.
Lucky you.
Yeah. I spoke to Henrik in the garage one day, Henrik Larsson. I held the door open for him. He said, thank you very much. So I spoke to Henrik. I spoke to Dr. Joseph Venglos, the day I got married. Reception at Celtic Park, and Dr. Joe was there. I spoke to him. And that's just off the top of my head, John. I think that's the ones that I've spoke to. Have Have you got any? Have you got any came back into your head yet, John?
No, I can't remember that far back. I mean, obviously, when I was getting autograph signs, the says things like, "All right, wee man, I've signed it, no bother," and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But see, I'll be honest with you, see, after Roy Eaton did that, I never asked for another autograph in my life again.
All right. Broke your heart, did he? The other one I can remember that I spoke to, I done a delivery to him once years ago, was Big Bobo. Delivered to Big Bobo Baldy. So there you go, John.
All right, aye.
So
Aye, I think I mind you tell me that one, Big Bobo. I knew about you met Joe Venglos.
yeah, Dr. Joe, yeah.
Henry Larson, you told me about him. I just can't remember if I've met other Celtic players. It's no important to me. Although the autograph thing stuck with me because I was away at the time. But nah, I remember telling everybody about that at the time. Anyway, let's move on for Celtic players that we've met, Zander, because I'll never remember that.
Yep, go for it, John.
Michael McKeough. It's always good to see Michael. He always leaves a wee half-decent comment, a nice wee comment. Michael McKeough says, let me know if I'm spelling saying your name right, Michael. I know Michael's correct, but is Keogh right? Is that how you pronounce it? Keogh? Anyway, Michael says, a Galtay mountain boy. He always says that. And he says, greetings from Cricklewood. Cricklewood.
Cricklewood.
He says, greetings from Cricklewood, London, Zander and John. Great pod as always. So he's living in London, Michael. Right. I've never heard of Cricklewood, by the way. It just sounds like something like a cartoon. And he says, 100% agree with you, John. The attacks on Scales are getting a bit boring now. On my team, all day, every day. He gives his all every game. The trip down memory lane was great, lads. God bless. Thanks very much for that, Michael. That's a fantastic comment, mate. The Cricklewood, I think, is quite funny. It just sounds funny to me. But, aye, Liam Scales, Zander, you think he gets it a bit hard for the Celtic fans? It is getting a bit boring, as Michael says, and I would have him in my team all day, every day as well, and he gives his all every game. I couldn't agree more with that, Zander.
I think Liam Scales was a major part of Celtic winning the double this season, John. A major part of it. Without him, we might have struggled, to be perfectly honest with you, John. So Big Scales, he could have been player of the season, John, if it wasn't the fact that he came in maybe 5 or 6 games into the season. So he never played the full season. I think he could have easily won player of the season, John. But any Celtic fans, giving him a hard time. I think they need to stop it because he's been a brilliant player for Celtic all season, John, and he hardly put a foot wrong the full season.
Well, look, I like Liam Scales. You know what? I give him great marks. We do the markups in every podcast. Liam Scales is always right up there with the top boys. Gets great marks off of both of us. Everybody I know thinks he's a good player, but there is a section of the Celtic fans get on his case. He's probably one of the bravest Celtic players there right now. He's no scared of anything. He goes in for every header. His distribution is normally 85% good. His forward runs are normally good. And then he finds his pass, of course, at the end of a big forward run. I've got absolutely no problem with Liam Scales being in any Celtic team. I think he's brilliant. He's an upgrade on Starfelt, the saddle that followed his bird. Just who would you let me know in the comments? Anybody, who would you rather have in that position? Left centre back, Carol Starfelt or Liam Scales? I know who my money's on, Zander.
Yeah, he's first pick every game. Big Scales, isn't he? I think 85% of the Celtic fans love him as well. So it's just a very few that gave him a hard time. Every game he played against Rangers as well, John. How solid was he against Rangers? Every ball that came into that box, that boy cleared that ball every single time.
He's just a crank big defender. He's still young, of course, still pretty young, still got a lot to learn. He's had a couple of wee bad starts against Rangers this season, a couple of bad starts, but grew into the game. But right. Overall against them, he's been fantastic. It's one of my players of the season, Liam Scales, and I just don't understand the flack that he gets off of some Celtic fans. I just don't know. And I've read comments on YouTube watching a video We need to get rid of Scales. We need to get rid of Scales. Get rid of him. Who are you talking about? Who are you going to replace him with? With the money that Celtic's got to spend on defenders, you're not going to get better than Liam Scales at Celtic. It's as simple as that, Zander.
Aye, well, he's there for a reason, John. He's a number one pick at Celtic, and that will continue in the next season. That's all I'm going to say on it, John, to be honest with you.
Aye, he wasn't that great for Ireland the other night. I watched Ireland against Portugal game. He wasn't the best. Wasn't the worst either, of course. It's kind of similar performance as Scotland put in against Germany, to be honest with you, for Ireland. We both like Ireland to do well, of course, and Scotland. But anyway, moving on for that. Thanks very much for that comment. Michael gave us a few things to talk about there.
Yeah, cheers, Michael.
Next up was We Would Never Sell a Club, another regular there. I agree with John and wouldn't. I like it that all these people agree with me, by the way. No often I get that. I agree with John.
It helps, doesn't it?
It certainly helps. First off, thanks for agreeing with us. She says, I agree with John and wouldn't take Tierney back. And he's injury prone, but I would take Scott McTominay.
Right. Couple of things. I would take Tierney back, no problem, but it's not going to happen because of the fee, £10 million. I don't think Celtic will ever pay that for an injury prone left back, John. So I think that's gone. I think that's not going to happen. So I sort of agree and disagree at the same time with the commenter. And who was the other one? Scott McTominay. Yeah, I'd take Scott into the Celtic team, no bother.
I would as well, like Scott McTominay. Taking Tierney back, we haven't got the money for it. Well, we have got the money for it, but Celtic won't spend it. It's as simple as that. Zander, thanks for that. We would never sell a club. Thanks very much.
Thanks for that, pal. Yeah.
James Doran was up next. Mystery player Didi Ragat. I'll give you a wee clue, James. When you're looking at the mystery players, look at the jersey that they're wearing. That's normally the clue. Look at the strip that they're wearing. So it's obviously a player from that era. And Didi Ragat obviously was like, I don't know, 15 years before that, 20 years before that, whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, John. The strip was just before the COVID season, wasn't it? So I was round about that era. So that's when we signed the mystery voice or the mystery player, Charlie Zander. We signed him for Chelsea on a loan, John, if you remember. I think it was a 1.5 year loan. And he cost us £2.5 million loan fee, John. Charlie Zander, believe it or not. But yeah, that's who it was. Mystery player, another flop.
Aye, a lot of flops at Celtic. Anyway, thanks for that, James. Next up was Kevin MacArthur. Albion Ayeti. No, thanks for that, Kevin, but it wasn't Albion Ayeti. Ayeti, man. Oh.
I get shivers when you hear that name getting mentioned, didn't you? Ayeti, £500,000. We sold him for. Good riddance, that's all I can say.
Aye, I think I'd rather see a Yeti at Celtic, and I mean the real Yeti. I think it crawls about the woods in America. The Yeti.
He's got more pace.
A Yeti, what a name! There's a Yeti. Anyway, thanks for that, Kevin. But obviously it wasn't a Yeti.
No, cheers, Kevin. Keep you into the competitions, pal, as well.
Anyway, James had another comment, Zander.
Yeah.
Excuse me. James says, looking back on the season, and if it wasn't for a corrupt officials like Beaton and Robertson and the usual penalty Rangers to bail them out of games, try to go that in one breath, Celtic would have won the league at a canter by at least 15 points.
So it was a funny one this season, John, wasn't it? We went through it obviously in the last podcast, James, so we're not going to go through it again, but there was a lot of games there that, you know, the Hearts game stands out, didn't it? The VAR, the shame game, as you called it, John, the Hearts game, that stood out. That should have been a game where the league was more or less in the bag if we won that game, if you remember, John, because Rangers had just been beaten with Motherwell and the decisions, the red card and the penalty. But that's just one example. There's other games during the season, John, the nothing each game against St Johnstone where decisions were going against us as well. You know, there's no point looking back now, John. We've won the double. We're the champions. It was just a tremendous feeling when we got that league over the line, and then the cherry on the cake, John, winning the Scottish Cup against Rangers. It turned out to be an absolutely fantastic season for us.
It was amazing. All calmed down now, of course. You can now sit back and reflect on it, Zander, and And I still watch the Scottish Cup final. I still watch that. I still watched the game against Kilmarnock, the game against Rangers, where we beat them at Celtic Park to win the league. Well, we hadn't mathematically won it, but what a game. And obviously, I didn't really watch the St Mirren highlights. I just watched the after the game celebrations, about half an hour worth on YouTube. Brilliant. Lots of videos for everybody to see out there. Anyway, aye, great memories. It's right up there with the 88 team, which I'm just about to talk about. Paul McComb says, 88 team was brilliant. The final was great. Old Hampden, because you get it in. You get in without a ticket. The new Hampden's not as good. I kind of had to slabber my way through that because he's put about 5 different points in the one sentence without any commas. So, sorry about that, Paul, for not reading it out properly. But the Old Hampden, Paul, aye, I think it was great, the Old Hampden. I was never in it, the Old Hampden, but it was good. I really liked it. And you could get in with a ticket, like you says, and all that stuff. And the 18 was brilliant. But the New Hampden, I was in it a lot because Celtic had to play a season there, of course, Zander, when the Celtic Park was getting built.
Yeah, that's right. That was another season you want to forget, isn't it? That was a dreadful season for Celtic. I had the season at Hampden, but I was in Old Hampden. I think I was only ever in it once, John. That was I think I was there for a Scotland game, believe it or not. I was there for a Scotland against England under-17s game at Hampden when the roof was off. So that was many years ago. But yeah, I was in it just the once. But no, that season at Hampden, John, that was just a dreadful season, wasn't it, when Celtic Park was getting built? No atmosphere at all. I remember the atmosphere was quite poor at most of the games. Obviously, the Glasgow derbies was different. But what's your memories of the season at Hampden, John, for Celtic?
I can't remember it, to be honest with you. Can't remember it, but the atmosphere was pretty poor, I thought. But Hampden's great for big games, I think. The atmosphere's really good. But getting back to that season when Celtic Park was getting built, I remember us two going down there when we were younger, watching Celtic Park getting built. Remember that? Going down there one night, we were looking at the north stand. Had no seats or anything, and it was just like the structure was just put in place.
Yeah.
And we were sitting at Celtic Park watching that. Aye, great memories of that Celtic Park getting built. What was that, 95 or something like that?
Yeah, it was around about then, wasn't it, John? 95, 96, roughly, wasn't it? Aye. I remember going to Celtic Park where you watch it, John, the structure, as you say, getting built. It was early stages, wasn't it? And now look at what we've got, John, a brilliant European stadium, John, with one of the best atmospheres in Europe. Well done, Fergus.
The best atmosphere in Europe.
Yeah, the best. Thanks to Fergus McCann, John. Electric atmosphere, brilliant stadium, you can see it from anywhere in Glasgow, just about, how high Celtic Park is, what a stadium we've got. It's the old Celtic Park was good, it was brilliant. I'll never forget that as well, going to the old Celtic Park and, getting crushed and all the rest of it, but nothing beats the new stadium, John, for atmosphere.
Aye, that's fantastic stadium. I love it. Every Celtic fan loves it. It's paradise. It's always been paradise. The old stadium and the new one, it's called paradise because the Glasgow Celtic play there. So simple as that. Simple as that. And look, it's a wee idea for a podcast for next week. Maybe add a wee section about Fergus McCann in it and how much every Celtic fan should be applauding this guy for what he done for Celtic, Zander, when they were just about to fold.
Yeah, John, and we'll do a podcast on that. That's a good idea. Where I was that night, Celtic were about to, the bank was going to close us down. If you remember the Bank of Scotland, everybody remember that. If you've got an account with the Bank of Scotland, remember they were just about to close Celtic down for a £2 million debt. And Fergus stepped in at the last minute, didn't he, John?
I don't think it even was 2 million. I think it was 1 million. I could be wrong, of course. I'm not to do my homework on that. It's a long time ago. I've not looked into that for a long time. But maybe do a wee bit of research on that this week. Maybe do a wee story on it next week as part of the podcast. Maybe dedicate a wee 20 minutes to it, 25 minutes or whatever to Fergus, because The guy's a legend, Zander. Don't care what anybody says. He done exactly what Celtic needed. He came here. He built a stadium. He says he was going to build a stadium worthy to fit in with the European stadiums and all that. He says he was going to build a great stadium. He built a fantastic stadium. He was going to bring success back to Celtic. He brought success back to Celtic. And Celtic haven't really looked back, really. He's just a legend. He should have a statue built.
Yeah, I totally agree, John. He was without Fergus McCann, where would we be today? You've got to ask yourself that question, you know. So yeah, good idea, John. We'll do a wee 20-minute section on next Saturday's podcast, John. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, I'll have a wee look into that as well.
Aye, thank you, Fergus. I doubt you're listening to this right enough, but you never know. If you ever do, just me and Zander always we appreciate what you've done for Celtic, and I'm sure every Celtic fan does. Absolute legend.
All right, John, that wraps it up, John, because that's well over an hour now, so we're going to keep you up to date with any news, rumours, gossip regarding Celtic as the week goes on. Hopefully there'll be some signings coming in the door, John. Hopefully there'll be a couple leaving as well. We just need to watch this space during the week. My next podcast will probably be at the weekend, actually, John. We'll probably do a podcast and do a full roundup of any news, gossip, rumours, etc. on Saturday, and we'll do that wee special on Fergus McCann as well, John, on Saturday. So, anything you want to add before we split, John?
Aye, I just hope the podcasts are listening to us and steal our idea about a Fergus McCann special.
No, well, that's like some of the content's been copied a few times in the past, but no, we'll do a wee Fergus special, John. That's just want to hear your personal thoughts, John. I'll give my thoughts as well, and then the listeners and viewers can leave some comments as well as regards to Fergus McCann. All right, John, that wraps it up, John. Congratulations to our competition winner, John. Just you calm down. Congratulations to you getting Charlie Masonda right. Prize will be on its way once you send us your address, and we'll catch everybody else on next Saturday's podcast. Commiserations to everybody else that entered and got it wrong, the competition. So commiserations to you, and we'll catch you next Saturday's podcast, John.
See you later, Zander. Hail, mate.
All right, John. Hail for now. Bye-bye.